Rick, that
Is
was your
that live?
cue.
That's live audio. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but I hit a button and now I'm gone.
Good evening, tabletop nerdcasters. Welcome to
Wow.
Dungeons and Dragons: Piercing the Crystal Veil, Session 11. Uh, um, I promise Rick's not going to miss the mark that much for the rest of the episode.
I know, I'm hoping.
Um, hey, if you're not already subscribed, liking, and following any of our streaming platforms, do that right now. If you come in later on the stream and you happen to come back to the intro, doing that helps us immensely. Every like, share, comment, whatever helps us to step up toward the barriers that keep small channels like us down. So every bit of that you can do helps us immensely. And with all that being said, Rick, go ahead and take over. It's your show, man.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to Piercing the Crystal Veil. We hope you've enjoyed your day today, and we hope you'll enjoy your evening with us tonight. We actually have someone new joining us. His He'll be playing a barbarian. It's Jason, and he is also. You've heard us talk about the greatest gaming store in the Houston area, Gollum's Gate. He is also one of the owners of Gollum's Gate, which, if you follow the show, you would know that would probably make him the spouse of one of our other players. Yes.
Are you saying that all co-owners are spouses, Rick?
No, I'm not. That would probably be very presumptive of me to say that. You know, in fact, it's probably not a good idea most times, but they work it very well.
That's right.
So
Thank you very much.
Yes, we are pleased to have him tonight. So, Jason, you want to tell us anything about yourself, or?
Was a gamer back in my youth, back in the early 80s. Didn't really play anymore until 5th edition came out, and my family and I really went gangbusters, and I think for the last 6 years I've just really enjoyed playing. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to having some fun.
All right. Well, very good. So, 5th edition prompted a birth of a game store. That's impressive.
That's right.
Yes. So, so if you remember where we last left off, they had left the Wizard Centaur's tower, and he had sent them in search of the necromancer they'd been chasing. He used some crystal technology and magic to track his location down to an abandoned fortress where there was a crystal chamber that had been basically quarantined 1,000 years ago after the war and had been forgotten about. And he believed this necromancer has gone there to possibly reactivate the crystal chamber using a black Purat heart that he recovered from the necromancer's tomb, which they were sent to stop, and succeeded partially, but not completely. He still got away with the prize. And so Centaur has sent them to try to finish the quest they started. And they traveled to the forest and have just entered the forest at the base of a mountain range. It's a massive forest at the base of a mountain range where there's a thin line of blue running down the side of the mountain. And that's how they knew where they were. And they just entered the forest, and when they did, a couple of reptilian draconic creatures came at them from out of the woods, and they look like medium-sized dragons, or small dragons for, when you consider the size of a dragon. And they have a chameleon kind of texture to their skin that made them very hard to detect. And they were caught totally by surprise. And one of these dragons, you noticed an orange light start appearing in his chest. And that orange light was moving up to his throat. But before we get to that, I think we need to introduce our new character. And his name is Utvas. and he's a barbarian from the northern tribes of 10 Towns. And he has. You want to tell us anything about him, Jason? Or
Yes, Uthvas of the Uthgard tribes. I have gone about for many years doing what any good Uthgardian would do, and that is hunt, eat, and make good for my tribe. And I have found that after many years of doing this, that there's perhaps, well, certain things that happens in a person, in a young barbarian's life that may otherwise put them on a different path. It just so happened that such a thing happened to me. And as such, this has put me into a position where I am now traveling the world in search of helping others find their true path. I'm trying to put right what once went wrong in people's lives.
and that led him to a personal journey. He had been having some troubled sleep, and he had slain a goblin in one of his trying to put people's lives right adventures. And this goblin had a strange crystal tooth that really attracted his attention. And so he kept the skull. And it was after this that this was the last creature he killed. And then he's was traveling and he started to have some difficult dreams, and he decided to go into the forest where he'd always found peace, and he was spending the night. And during this one uneasy night, he had a dream, and one of his ancestors came to him. Uthvas. Uthvas.
Yes, yes, who is calling me?
Uthvas, you must listen. Uthvas, you must do what I tell you. You must travel and find the light that speaks. It will give you great wisdom. Follow me. And you follow him deeper into the woods. And he leads you to a black hole. Find the light that speaks. And then he disappears.
This is a black hole. I cannot see any light. In fact, if one were to ask how black is it? Could it be more black? One might actually answer, no, it could be none more black.
And you see a hand. It's like you're looking almost at a TV screen. You see a hand stretch out and point and indicate the darkness, and it points, and then it disappears.
Well, I'm not one to look a gift hand in the finger. No, that's not quite right, but it seems like I should make my way through this dark hole into the abyss. I will try to light a torch and see if perhaps that will help light my way, as my vision is not one of the darkness.
And you enter into this darkness, and as you enter into it, no light comes from the torch. You can feel the heat from the torch, and the blackness is almost unnerving, but you keep moving. And eventually you see the faintest of light, and you're moving towards the light, and you feel like you're getting closer, but the light is not. It's like the light's getting closer, but it's almost like you keep running and you just can never quite get there. And you keep going.
That seems like the economic situation of my forefathers many years ago. We had a time, well, that's perhaps for another story.
Perhaps. But you can feel, as you're chasing this thing, you can feel it almost pulling you, like you really need to get it. You're angst starts growing as the frustration mounts, as you just can't seem to reach it. It seems closer, but then you notice it's just as far away as it was before. And you're just struggling, and you're running as hard as you can, and you're reaching out for it, and you're just, you're getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and pretty soon you go into a full out rage as you chase it, and it's just teasing you. It's like the proverbial carrot on a stick right in front of your face, and you're running and running and running, and all of a sudden you seem like you're back in the campsite, and you're standing, and you look around, and your bedroll is shredded, and your backpack is shredded, and you just look around, and you just take off into the woods. You've just got all this anger and just this frustration, and you're just charging blindly through the forest, and you're running and you're running, and you find yourself just racing through the woods, and you don't know where you're going, and none of it seems familiar. And gradually you're wearing out, and your rage starts subsiding, and then you find yourself standing in a small box canyon, and there's a single tree in the center, and you look behind you, and there's a narrow crack in the wall, but as you look at it, you notice it's not really stone, but it's trunks, and you look around the canyon, and it's all tree trunks, and the trees tower over you hundreds of feet into the air, and there's a translucent canopy way up in the sky, completely covering this opening, and you can see the waning moon reflecting its image off the inside of the canopy and down, shining and illuminating the single tree. And you've got your goblin skull clenched tightly in your hand, and you're staring at it, and that grin, that crystal toothy grin, is just staring back at you.
So, this is quite odd. As I remember it, there was no crystal grin in this skull. Hello there, skull. I am Uthvos. You should know this. I slew you. But I have made it a point to never slay another creature, as for the feelings that I got in this last battle with you made me realize my ancestors want something more from me. They want me to find something more for others. I can do no more for you. You are dead. But what I can do is I can prevent others from dying at my hand. Do you have anything to say to me? Then please stop smiling at me.
So you notice behind you that the opening seems to be closing in the trees. And you look, the tree is not like any tree you've ever seen before. It shimmers in the faint moonlight. It's as if crystals are running through its veins, and the reflected light washes the clearing in a soft blue-green glow. You also notice that there are yellow crystal veins snaking through the walls of the canyons and across the bark, and they seem to be drawing your attention to the far side. Directly across from you, beyond the tree, is the only thing that the light does not penetrate, a large cave opening. And you see nothing else in this strange place.
Hello, I scream into the cave. Hello!
And
is there any echo or anything that reverberates back at me?
Yes, it does kind of reverberate slightly. It sounds like your words are kind of choppy and indistinct as they bounce back to you. But nothing else changes. you're completely alone and trapped inside this clearing.
But it looks like that the only way is to go forward into yet another plane of darkness.
Potentially, yes. That is the only opening that you see in this clearing.
I will take my maul off my back, and I will, with great trepidation, I will stick a little bit of the maul into the opening and see what happens.
Okay, so you're going to move over to the opening?
I am.
Okay, as you move towards the tree, you notice that the tree starts getting brighter and brighter. And it's so bright that it's as the closer you get to the tree, it's becoming blindingly bright.
I will walk straight into the tree.
Okay, so you close your eyes, but it's like that doesn't make any difference because it's almost like the light is in your mind. And you walk straight towards the tree, and then you notice that it seems to be getting, as you continue to walk, you feel like from your what you would have guessed that you would have encountered the tree by now, but you keep walking, and now all of a sudden the light starts getting dimmer and dimmer again until where you feel like you can open your eyes. And when you open your eyes, you're standing at the cave opening, and you look behind you and the tree is still right there.
Is the tree still bright?
No, now it's back to its normal, shimmering silvery iridescence.
If I take a few steps closer to the tree, does it?
It starts getting brighter again. But you
Well,
notice
I was told to follow the light, so I will walk towards the tree.
Okay. And basically, you repeat the same process.
I will stop at the where I think the tree is,
Okay.
in the middle of the light.
Okay.
Does anything happen?
No.
Do I remember the name of this ancestor that spoke to me? Was he one of my feeble-minded ones?
You do not know.
I have had many.
But
none that have affected me, I shall say.
No, but looking at him, you got the impression that he would have been more of a shaman of the tribe.
Well, if he wants me to keep on walking back and forth and not get anywhere, I'm rather ashamed of him as well.
Okay.
Bad pun, but I shall move on.
Okay.
It seems that the only way to go now is towards this dark hole. So I will start, once again with trepidation, with Maul out in front of me, start making my way to the dark hole.
Okay.
I will look at the skull. I will take the skull out and take a look at its smiling face at me, and I will say, is this where I'm supposed to go?
And you get nothing.
I put the skull back. So there's only one crystal tooth in there?
Yes.
I will attempt to break the tooth out.
Okay. If you really want to, you probably would have to smash the skull to get the tooth out. Just pulling it out doesn't seem to work.
Doesn't work? Okay. That is too much trouble at this moment. I want to keep the skull intact out of respect for the creature that I slew mercilessly. I actually only stepped on him. But anyway, that's another story. I will move forward into the darkness.
Okay. So you move forward into the darkness. Give me 1 second. And you find
Well, what's
yourself
happening now?
it is impenetrably dark. It's just as you saw it, remember, in the dream. No matter where you look, you see nothing. You hold your hand in front of your face, you can't even see it. You look behind you, you don't see where you just came through. But you just stepped through.
I will try to grab the skull once more, and by holding the skull, does the crystal give off any light?
You see this seems like a very, very faint glow, almost deep inside the crystal, but very faint.
So, Crystal, I think this would be a time for you to grow and perhaps provide something more to yourself and to me, if at all possible. I know you have it within you. Yes, you may be a crystal. That doesn't matter. You have the spark of light in you. Release that spark. Now!
And just
Our podcast has never sounded more anime than in these moments right here.
one thing you notice too is that the words, as soon as you speak them, it dies. It's like a dead room. Sound wise, being a musician, you know what that it's like a dead room. There's no echo anywhere. It's just your voice just dies instantly after you say the word. And you're still standing. You haven't moved yet. You right? You just stepped through the entrance and you're standing right there.
I would think if I've lost all idea of space around me, I would probably just move what I think is forward. So I will continue to move.
Okay. So you move forward, and you still don't hear anything. You don't hear footsteps. You don't hear anything. But as you move forward, and you've been moving for a little bit, all of a sudden you can hear the faint drip of water. Look. Look. Look.
I will try to follow the path of the sound of the water.
Okay. As you move along, you now notice that you can feel the water around your feet. And it seems like it's starting to get a little deeper as you move forward.
I will try to bend down a little bit, cup some of the water, and smell it to see if it is clean water or if it is rancid water.
It smells clean.
I am thirsty. I will drink the water.
And it tastes cool and refreshing.
I will dunk the skull in the water.
Okay? Right now it's probably only about 4 or 5 inches deep, but you dip the skull in the water and it gets wet and the water runs off the skull.
Does any of the water stay in the skull?
Not unless you wish to try to use it as a cup of some kind.
I would like to use it as a cup.
Okay. And you are able to dip some of the water into the cup and bring it up to your mouth.
Sorry.
Wow! So you're drinking the water out of the skull?
Yes, and I will suck the tooth.
Okay.
You tooth sucker! I knew you was a tooth sucker.
And Tame is like, no, there's nothing new here, you know? Okay. And
When I was a young barbarian in barbarian school, when we needed to go to the restroom, the teacher would always say, "Suck your teeth." I never understood that, but that's what he would say. He was not a very good teacher.
I see. It was your teacher you saw in your dream.
That could very well be it.
So you're now standing in a few inches of water, sucking a tooth from a skull, and you hear this faint drip, drip, drip. And it was getting slightly louder as you were moving.
I will continue to move.
Okay. It seems to be getting louder, and the water seems to be getting deeper.
I will continue to slosh through the water.
Okay. Now you notice as you slosh through the water that your steps no longer sound like you're stepping through water. Every time you step, instead you hear the sound like a drip of water.
Is this having any effect on my bladder?
It's cool water, not warm water.
No, the sound. It's more the sound.
Oh, the sound?
For some, it's the sound of rushing water.
I
For others,
see.
it's the sound of a little drip, drip, drip as you get older.
I see. Okay, yes. I guess that depends on the stream. So, no, it does not. You still, unless you're fine. Your skins are still all white.
All right, I will continue forward.
Okay, and as you move forward.
No, and just so you know, my skins are always brown. Always wear the brown pants.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. So, as you get close, as you're moving forward, you notice a faint light in the distance.
I run towards it.
Okay, you run.
Or whatever the action that's close enough to running, I move as fast as I can towards the light.
Okay. And as you get closer, you notice okay, now why did it get blurry all of a sudden? There we go. You notice there's a skull floating in midair.
Greetings, Skull. I am Uthvas.
And the skull, but you can't make out what kind of skull it is because it's constantly changing shapes, and you see humanoid that you think, maybe even draconic sometimes, and it just is constantly morphing and changing and morphing, and there is a light coming from inside this skull. But one thing you notice through all of its morphing and all of its different configurations or incarnations is it's always missing a tooth.
I see. Well, I quickly put the skull behind my back, avoiding any possible angle where it might have seen me sucking on the tooth. And I will act as if I'm just now finding the skull behind. Oh, this skull has a tooth. This skull appears to be missing a tooth. I will, once again, with trepidation, because I do know the meaning of that word, I will move that skull next to the floating skull.
And doesn't really seem to, do anything. It's just floating in midair. And it's, obviously it's just, your image is shifting a little bit as to what it is, but
And I touch the floating skull.
And the water that you heard is clicking down on the top of the skull, and it's running off below you. And right now the water is probably almost up to your waist.
Is the skull physical?
Does it have? Yes, you are able to touch the skull. And when you touch it, you don't feel it shifting, but it still doesn't take a definite shape, even though you can feel it is a definite shape, and you're not feeling it change in your hand.
So I will try to flick it to see if it moves the skull.
It doesn't move at all. It seems like it doesn't move at all.
I get the feeling that perhaps... No, let me do an intelligence check just to see if this is something that I would, in fact... With a 9. Yes, I would not think to do what I was going to do. Hmm. There's just a floating skull, and then there's my skull, and my skull has a tooth. Yes, I will smash my skull to get the tooth.
Okay. So, you smash.
But first, I must speak to said skull, and I must apologize for further desecrating this poor creature. I look at the skull in a very Yoricky manner, and I say, "It is my understanding that your name was Ungi, and I feel very bad for having destroyed you in the first place, Ungi. But I have carried your skull with me as a means to further my purpose in life. Your death had a purpose, and that was to further my purpose in life. My purpose in life is to further other people's purposes in life. So as you see, you are but one link in a great chain that will affect all of this wonderful land. And having said that, I take my maul, and I crush the skull, and take the tooth out."
Okay, you actually do some damage to the skull, and you figured you would have crushed it but it doesn't. And that surprises even you with your massive intelligence.
What this says to me is that my words have gotten through to you. You realize that you have more of a role to play in yet my development and the development of all of this world. I commend you, Broken Skull of Ungi, with the mysterious crystal tooth, and as such I shall further revere you until the next time I must try to destroy you to break out the tooth. But that shall not be at this time.
Okay. And this tooth is still grinning at you with its crystal tooth grin.
I will try to maybe... Okay, I am going to try to once again touch the other floating skull, and I will try to see if I can, with my eyes closed, get a better idea of... Does it feel like it's morphing in my hand, or is it just a visual thing?
It's just a visual thing. But you can't...
Ah, okay. Well then, I will having put my skull away, using both hands, I'm going to try to do using my vast experience in cranial reckoning. Sure, that's a thing. I will try to see if I can figure out what this skull might be.
As you're feeling it, you can't textually feel what it is, but you keep having an image of Ungi. So you're like, no, I'm just seeing Ungi in this skull. But you're thinking, in your brilliant cranial reckoning abilities that you're just projecting that onto it. That it can't be, but you can't really make out anything else.
I think that should someone need to do something like this in the future, it should need a name. I shall call this Phrenology from now on.
Should I write that down? Phrenology?
Phrenology.
Is that because he was a friend of yours?
Yes, Friendology. It's because I'm trying to make him a friend in death.
And miraculously, you now have proficiency in phrenology.
Fantastic.
And making friends with dead things?
Friendology?
Phrenology, yes. It's a thing.
It is a thing.
I think we call that necromancy.
So you're still fondling...
That's just making friends.
Yeah.
That's just a doctor who's late to the party.
Alright, so... I still hear the dripping. I see this floating skull. Does it look like that there's still some sort of faint light somewhere?
No, it appears it was coming from the skull.
Well... I will get down on my knees.
Okay.
And I will say, "Oh, floating skull, I am at an impasse, for I do not know what I should do next. Please give me a sign." I then beg to my ancestors. I call out to my ancestors. Yorick, Hamlesh, Oracle of the Uthgard tribe, come to me, give me guidance, help me to know what path I should take. Not metaphorically, but actually.
You feel, you almost feel that you need to possess the skull. And I don't mean like possession, but
That's exactly what he feels. He feels that he needs to possess the skull in possession. So he is going to try to do a magical ritual, of which he does not know, in order to cast magic, which he cannot do.
okay.
Can I do an Arcana check to see if I come close?
Sure.
That is a 5.
You feel it's just on the, you missed it by that much.
All right. Well, then I will try a different type of possession. I will grab my bag, and I will put it over said floating skull, and see if I can grab it that way.
Okay. And so you've got it. So, like, are you trying to pull it? Is what you're.
I am putting the bag on it, and I am trying to pull the bag.
Okay. And you are, I mean, you're pulling on it, it's not budging, and you're pulling, and then you start, like, just pulling, you're kind of like crouching down and pulling on it, and you can feel when you crouch down, like you're underneath it, as you're pulling on it, that it moves a little bit.
Oh, I forgot. I while doing this, I will say, please.
Okay. You didn't say that before. Now
I did not. I was being rude.
Yes, okay. So you're feeling that it's moving a little bit as you're underneath it. And you get kind of excited and you're okay, you're getting somewhere. Finally, all the frustration getting somewhere. And you're pulling with all your might, I'm assuming?
I am pulling with most of my might.
Okay, give me a strength check. I always love how at D&D people always couch their words.
That will be a natural 1 for a 3.
You rolled a 1?
I rolled a 1, yes.
He triggered
Okay.
his rage by failing a strength check.
So,
And just so you know, I do not go into rage. I go into fervors.
oh, fervors, okay.
Tomato, tomato.
So, you're pulling with all of your incredible strength.
Most.
Most of your incredible strength. And all of a sudden, the skull just gives. It's almost like it just let go.
It was out of pity, I believe.
Probably it was the please that did it. And you fall into the water, but you don't just stop, you don't hit the bottom, you fall into the water and you feel yourself falling through the water. And you have the skull in your possession in the bag. And you're just tumbling and it's pitch black. And you are kind of panicking a little bit, I'm assuming?
Not so much.
Okay. So,
Again, the way I look at this is where I am meant to go. This is what is meant to happen.
fair enough. So, you're tumbling through the abyss. Oh, wait, no, not the abyss. That's a definitely, like, technical term.
That would have some concern for me, yes.
You are falling through the watery darkness. And all of a sudden you feel yourself land on your feet. And you're now standing in a large chamber. And you're encircled in columns of blue crystal, running circular overhead. Across the room you see a number of dwarves and dragonborn are rushing through a large door, almost in a panic. You can feel the water and see that there's water rising in the chamber. You also notice there's a wagon holding a copper chest that's glowing with red-hot energy, and dwarves are trying to reach it. They're struggling to reach it. They're wearing brass cuirasses with red robes underneath, but the force of the energy coming from this chest is keeping them at bay. They can't seem to get close. Red light seems to be bathing this blue crystal chamber, and you look to your right and you see the source of this. Two massive blue crystal, it's a massive blue crystal arch with two pillars rising 30 feet and crossing overhead, forming this arch. And through it, you see an incredible scene. It's a sheer cliff face that drops to a sea of lava. Tendrils of fire are whipping into the air. Some seem to be lapping at the very doorway, and you can feel the heat. And standing square in the center of this doorway stands a dwarf. And he also wears a bronze cuirass covered in crystal glyphs and bracers to match over red robes. He's holding a crystal bowl aloft over his head, and his head is thrown back and his eyes are closed, and he appears to be singing in joyous reverence. You can't make out the words, but the timbre just vibrates through your bones. And you're now holding a crystal skull in your hand. It looks like your goblin skull, and it's glowing red hot, but you can't let it go.
Okay.
Is that a lot to process?
Is there still water all around?
The water is rising.
I will try to kneel down into the water with this hot skull.
And it sizzles in the water, but it doesn't seem to affect it, and you can feel it burning. The pain is incredible. It's searing.
I will try to make my way up to the dwarf.
As you move towards the dwarf, you can feel the force of his song. It's almost holding you at bay. It's radiating out from him, and you can feel his joy, but you can feel that it's like he's trying to hold back the powers, and it's radiating all over. And you can feel the heat penetrating from there, and you notice that all of a sudden you can feel the ground start shifting under your feet, and you can feel it shaking, almost like an earthquake. And you look over, and the dwarves appear to have abandoned their attempt to get at the chest and are now fleeing towards the door. But the dwarf still stands immovable in the doorway. And you can tell he's holding whatever is outside at bay, the flames and the fire, the inferno, from entering the chamber. And he seems to be doing it, but soon you realize it's not enough. And he's pouring his life into it. He's sacrificing himself completely in this endeavor. But soon the pillars start to crack, and the lava is pushing up at the door itself. Flames engulf him. All of a sudden, the water has risen up to your neck, and the lava and the water are just... The steam is pouring out, and then the ground gives way.
Where are the other dwarves at this time?
Everybody seems to have left the chamber.
Well, which way? Through what?
Okay, if you're standing and you're looking straight ahead at the arch and the dwarf, it would be behind you and to the left. Probably.
And it looks like this, but it looks like that this dwarf is trying to hold back what's coming behind him, but now it's overtaking him.
the lava and everything is on the other side of this arch, and he's keeping it at bay from entering the chamber.
I will try to raise the skull up and see if that does anything.
Okay. You raise the skull high overhead, and you're holding it there, and you're trying to help, I'm assuming, help the dwarf in some way?
Yes, I will say in Dwarvish, ouch. And say, allow, please, let this skull assist you in some shape, way, or manner.
Okay. And one thing you did notice, too, just with everything else going on, but it just pops into your brain. Well, we'll see if it pops into your brain. Roll me an intelligence check.
I will tell you right now, it probably will not.
I agree. But you never know.
17!
Yes! And with a moment of inspiration, you recall that the skull of Uthgar, the crystal skull in your hand, was not missing a tooth anymore. That you're holding up over your head. But the ground makes another drastic shift, and the flames pour in the doorway and completely engulf the dwarf as the water's rising over his head, and you slip backwards. And the ground gives way, and you find yourself tumbling once again into the darkness of the water. And this time...
You know, I would prefer a more metaphorical journey. Just saying.
That would be nice. This time you can feel yourself. Before, you didn't feel yourself gasping for air. But now the searing pain of the skull, and you can see the face of your vanquished goblin, crystal goblin, that's the only light you see, is you see that flaming, not really flaming, but red radiating skull in your hand, and you can feel the searing pain running through your arm and through your whole body. And you take 13 points of fire damage. You're finding
Ouch.
you can't breathe the water, unless you can breathe water.
I cannot breathe water.
Then you're trying to gulp air, but you didn't really have a chance to catch your breath. And we have a cat off going on here, you know?
Yeah, sorry about it.
No, that's fine.
She wants attention.
And you are struggling for air. And it's nothing but darkness. And you take another 7 points of fire damage. And you are running out of air. And
Okay.
you now hear a voice in your head. As you're getting close to... You continue taking fire damage. And you're now starting to take damage from the lack of oxygen.
I will continue to burn and suffocate.
Sounds like a plan.
And you think you can hear a voice in your head.
Sums up 2020 about right.
Yes, I know. I know.
You forgot the Spanish Inquisition.
Well, no one expects that.
No. And no one expects to be, having a nice peaceful sleep, and the next thing you're drowning and burning to death, you know? So, but you hear a voice in your head.
Is it this kind of voice?
Could be. I had a feeling it would be.
Oh, Uthvash. I said, oh, Uthvash, how you doing there, bud? Feeling a little, well, I don't know, peaked perhaps, having a hard time with the breaths and perhaps with the temperature. Is it hot enough for you, huh? Need some help, huh? That kind of thing? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
See, I'm not going to say that that I have the upper hand, but it sure feels like I have the upper hand here. So rule number one, you don't go smushing goblins. That's a bad thing. We come back and we might be little folk, but we're we're out to get you. We're gonna get you one way or another. But anyway, so yeah, I'm a crystal skull now apparently, or you're just imagining all this. That could be very well. You're taking a lot of damage here. I think there's no air getting to you, so you're kind of on your way out there, bud. So let me just say that your path, whatever path you're planning on going on right now, it's all kind of screwed up right now. I think pretty much you want to think of a different path. So if you have if there's anybody you want to say sorry to, Ungi, want to say sorry to Ungi? Perhaps. I don't know. Something to think about. How much more damage am I taking?
You lose consciousness, so you don't know. At that point, you basically lose consciousness. So, give me 1 second.
I like Ungi. I'm an Ungi fan. Just while Rick is back there, Ungi is a visitor from a campaign of mine back when Pathfinder 2E came out. That was one of the what was it, the second time you played in a game of mine?
Yeah, I think so.
That was after the live show at TigerCon. Man, I love Ungi. I'm excited that he's a part of this. I have a feeling I'm going to like Uthvas too. Uthvas and Nevi share a great many traits. One of them being an 8 in wisdom and intelligence. Cade, what's your wisdom and intelligence?
My wisdom is 10 and my intelligence is 9, so it's
Yes!
not too much better.
Yes. The old. Did you do the roll and keep or the point buy?
I did the roll and keep.
Okay. Yeah. I think we did the point buy. I did anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, I love the point buy. So,
Yep. I get to dump 2 stats.
there you go.
I said Rick won't let me use my rogue investigator. So you know what? If he doesn't like those 2 stats, the perception and the investigation, I just won't use them.
Okay, so back to Uthvas. Uthvas, right as you're completely losing consciousness, and you've been hearing this voice, this familiar,
Dave's dead.
you see visions of other faces flashing before your eyes. Most of them wear visions of grim determination as well as resignation. And they flash by constantly. And you see, just all kinds of different humanoids, even some draconic, like I said. But you don't know what is going on, and you black out completely. The next thing you know, you wake, and you're completely soaked, laying in a pool of water. In a forest does not seem familiar to you. Your hand is on fire. You can still feel a pain. You wake up instantly from the pain. And you're laying basically with your head slightly on the bank, just above the water. But other than that, you're completely submerged.
Am I still holding on to the skull?
No. You pull your hand out to look at the pain, expecting to see the skull there, and it's gone, but you can see the burns on your hand.
Does it look like a skull?
No.
I see is it like, Tote or whatever his name was from Raiders of the Lost Ark?
No. Or, Oh yes, no, where he grabbed the amulet and it had
Yeah.
the permanent. Yes, no, nothing so poetic.
So I can see the eye sockets and the nose socket and stuff.
Nope, just burn.
Well, that's a missed opportunity.
It is.
Well, I will quickly take a look in the pool and see if I can find it, if the skull is anywhere in there.
You look deeper in the pool, and the pool's probably about. I mean, you can. Are you going to dive down? And you're looking frantically, and you are not finding it, and you don't see any light of any kind.
Well, if there's one thing that I grew up with, it's to be determined and to have a determination about you. So I am determined to give up at the moment, and I'm going to get out of the water.
That is a determination I can deal with. So you determinedly crawl out of the water onto the bank. You feel very tired, and you are breathing hard and totally soaked. And you look around, and this does not seem like the same forest it was when you entered. The one you spent the night in.
Okay. I yell out, "Hello, hello!" Do I hear any sort of animal sounds, or perhaps the rustling of pheasants?
And so you yell and you are quiet for a second. Roll me a perception. What's your passive? Oh, it's probably pretty low. Roll
9.
roll me a perception check, since you're trying to hear if are there any animal sounds?
I will give you a guess as to which single-digit number I rolled.
1.
No, actually, I rolled a 5, but it came down to a 4.
I see. Okay, and you don't see it. Roll me a survival check too.
Well, it's funny you should say 2, because I got a 4.
Okay. All right. So
You need a new app.
Yeah.
Cold,
I know.
hard, metal dice.
I think it's actually rolling quite the character.
You know, I have a place you can buy some metal dice. It's a great place called Golem's Gate. You should check it out.
Yeah, Wednesdays and Saturdays you can
Right. You
go
can
there
in
and,
on your own in your person.
Yep.
Just in Sugarland, Texas. No big deal.
Yep.
Stafford, I don't care. Whatever. It's all the same.
Missouri
thing.
City.
It's all
I
Houston.
do have my backups here that I will try. That also was a 4.
It's telling you something in life, is it not, Ungi?
I told you that you shouldn't have done it. That's right.
So you're standing. You are now standing in an unknown forest, outside a small pond, dripping wet and clueless. Sort of like life.
This sounds like any
Right.
good 80s slasher movie.
That's right. I would like to eat some food because I am sure I am hungry.
Well, unfortunately, you don't have your backpack with
It is quite unfortunate.
That's very unfortunate.
you. You're wearing
Also
a
par for the
robe?
course for a barbarian.
However, fortunately, I am not very good when it comes to skinning creatures for making my clothes, so there should still be some meat available on my loincloth.
Okay.
It's a fresh loincloth, eh?
Well, I went to a meet and greet and just kind of misunderstood it.
I see, I say. Well, in that case, yes, I think you can chew on your loincloth, you know? In the Revolutionary War, they were eating their soles of their shoes, so you just, it happens. And roll me another...
Is the water potable?
Yes.
I would like to drink some water at the very least.
That depends on what you did in it while you were asleep.
That's right.
Is the
There,
other
find a
end of the
different
pool
spot.
potable?
Yes. Yes, the yellow water is very potable. And roll me one more perception check while you're sitting there drinking and chewing on your loincloth.
15.
A 15.
I was gonna say it was a con save, but that was just me.
You hear a faint roar in the distance that sounds like a large animal.
I see. I would like to make a nature check to see if I can determine what that animal might be by its sound. And before you tell me I can't, you're right. I can't. I have a 5.
Okay. All right. So, what would you like to do next, sir?
Well, looking around in this forest, does it look like there is a cleared path to any direction of mine?
No. Roll me a survival check.
6.
Good night. I hope when we get to combat, you've law of large numbers. You've got to start rolling better.
If not, our barbarian friend is gonna be hacking us to pieces.
If this was freaking Monster of the Week, you'd be like level 10 by now.
Okay, I am going to start a fire. Because I am wet, and I would like to dry my clothes.
Okay. Roll me a survival check.
17, thank you very much.
There we go.
I know how to make fire.
All right. So you are collecting firewood. I think it's a good time. Let's switch back now to the other members of our group.
Yes.
The origin stories always suck. You gotta. Sorry
know.
about that.
No, you're fine. I assumed we were rolling initiative, and I rolled a 1. Right after talking crap about your rolls.
All right. Yeah, we were rolling initiative actually. So
Yeah, that's what you told us at the end of last session.
all right. So let's have everybody roll initiative.
Nevi wasn't ready. That's all we know. It's a different scene. Look at that.
Well, I can tell you, Cade wasn't ready either.
Maybe was trying to get Kate to lick something.
Han wasn't all that ready.
You got a
either.
3 too? You rolled a 3 naturally.
Yeah, so I've got a
Plus
7.
Stuff. Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Just everybody tell me what you rolled.
10.
A what?
A 10.
Okay.
7.
7. Okay. Morale?
I think we have a disconnection error.
No, she's looking very intently at her dice.
Nope.
Blah.
Oh, there she
screens.
goes.
All right. So
She
Pam,
just
you
said
rolled a
she just
7?
said F combat.
That's right.
That's not what I'm here for. I want that solid RP.
Yes,
Yes.
I had a 10.
And you rolled a 10, Pam?
Yep.
And Nevi, you rolled a 7?
No, I got a 3,
A 3.
which is
Okay,
also how many beers I've had.
And now we get to mess with screens again.
It's okay. They should be fine when she comes back up. No, never mind. They're not.
all
There we
right.
go. I've got mine set up to where I can just move a couple things and be done.
So, this light, this one of these drakes. I'll call them drakes. Oh, Morale, what did you roll for initiative? Oh, are you back yet? So, one of these drakes lets out a roar, and the other one lets out a roar. But accompanying this roar, a ball of a gout of flame comes shooting out from its mouth.
Tama, would you mind talking briefly just to let the screens
It's
reset?
cutting in and out.
I thought that would put
Can
you
you hear
back
me
up.
at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, Tama. So, what'd you roll for initiative?
11.
11. Number 11. It goes to 11. All right. So, I need a dexterity saving throw from Cade and Nevi, please, as this gout of flame shoots out and envelops both of you.
22.
Is this magic trying to charm me?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's trying to burn you, you fool.
21. Yeah, baby.
21. So Nevi throws his shield up, and he notices when the flame hits the shield that some of it starts getting absorbed into the shield.
Excellent.
All right. And with my 22, I would like to take some creative narrative and say that when Nevi raises his shield, Cade's staring him in the face. Because he's on the inside of the shield.
Yes. He's like got his hands on the outside. It's like braced up like he's on a wall. All right. What's do we take half damage or anything?
Yes, and you'll actually take quarter damage since you made your save.
Okay.
28 points of damage.
Holy, that's half? That's
No,
quarter?
That's you take your half and quarter.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
Wow.
I was like,
Okay.
holy crap. What are we fighting?
I'm out.
Hey,
So,
you
7.
rolled good. He's the anti-Ultvas. And the other one, so Cade, this other one comes up at you from behind.
You had taken health off of me, right? I'm just trying to remember what that temp was.
What's your armor class?
My armor class is 16.
16. So it lunges at you and it hits your shield. You manage to get your shield up, even though it was behind you, and then you dart out of the way as it reaches out to claw you. But unfortunately, the other claw catches you. And it does 9 points of damage. And now it is Morale's turn.
Rick, real quick before we keep going, did Census heal our temporary hit point loss?
Before you left, yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm back at full hit points as I should be. Okay.
No. You're talking about the temporary hit point max?
Yeah, well, you had like taken hit points off of our characters.
She gave you a crystal that she said would work temporarily.
Okay, but for the sake of argument, I'm full health.
For the sake of argument, everyone's full health, but until that crystal
Yep. Yeah.
loses its power, you'll be full health. And you don't.
Okay.
She doesn't know for sure how long it'll last. It's just a band-aid they figured out for the situation. She said once you
Yeah. When we go back, we'll get fully healed.
Exactly.
I just was trying to make sure I'm calculating my hit points correctly.
You are. All right, Miss Morale.
I will, just to test the water, Sacred Flame, the one that's attacking them.
All right, that's a dexterity saving throw. And
Yes.
are you gonna do the one that just breathed, or are you gonna do the one that is attacking Cade?
Did they both attack?
They both attacked, but one of them did a fire breath, and the other one is actually attacking.
I'll do the one that's attacking.
Okay. And the Sacred Flame lands right next to him because the two of them are moving and twining about. Now you notice that this creature moves somewhat slow. It's not super fast. But you still were not. Well, I'm assuming. What is your DC saving throw?
It is 13.
13. Yeah. So he did make it. Okay. Pan.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn towards the one that is attacking Cade, I think you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna cast Frostbite. And that is a con save of 14 that it
All
has
right.
to make.
So are you going to move up, or you're just going to cast?
Was I within 60 feet? Oh
Oh,
yeah. No, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at and cast.
All right, and he fails his save.
All right. Ooh, that's max damage. So he takes 12 points of damage, which it's something. And then on the next attack it makes. Oh no, it's a weapon attack. Okay, so it may not have disadvantage, but takes 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage. Okay, and what happens on its next attack?
It says it gives disadvantage on the next weapon attack.
No, that would be. I mean, its claws would or bite. I would.
Okay.
Try that.
Okay.
Cade, you are locked in battle with this Drake.
All right. Well, obviously, this is not where Cade wants to be. So, but there's not a whole lot that he can do about it. So he is gonna go all stabby with his rapier and just try and impale the thing as much as possible.
Okay.
I mean, there's not much else he could do at this point in time. It's
All
already
right.
there at his face.
Give it to me, sir.
Okay, so 21 to hit.
That misses. I'm just kidding. I just want to see the look on your face.
I was gonna say, all right, we're done because I'm down like half my hit points and I can't hit with the 21. We're in trouble. All right. So is there anybody else that's technically within the 5 feet range of him that would give me my?
No, you won't get your sneak attack.
Okay. All right. So then my damage is 9.
9 points. Okay.
And I am going to use my bonus action to try and hide behind whoever's behind me.
That would be Nevi. All right. So you're going to attempt to hide. Okay. Now keep in mind, Stoutfoots cannot hide next to other characters. That's something that the Lightfoots can do. But you could try it out. I mean, you can attempt to and hide as an action. So if you want, you can disengage as your free action and move somewhere. You could probably not hide right next to him. So
yeah, I'm gonna disengage and I'll
As
move.
the bonus action, not the free action.
Yeah, I'm gonna disengage and move back towards that red tree.
All right. Okay. All right. Nevi.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting round. I have no idea what their wisdom score could possibly be.
And the dragon, the Drake that breathed on you is not an engaged range, so you wouldn't have to disengage or anything to get away from him. He's 5 feet. He's more than 5 feet away. He's
Disengage. I'm a paladin, son.
just,
I'm resident tank over here. I am going to spend sorcery points to use a spell as a bonus action. I am going to use the command spell at a second level. Are they next to each other? Sorry, I can't see the map super well.
No, they're not next to each other. They're about 20 feet apart.
Okay, where are they? Can you point to them on the battle map where we...
One is right here.
Okay.
One is right here.
Okay, and where am I?
And this is you right here.
Right in the middle?
Yep.
Solid.
There's Pam, and there's Morale.
So I just shout the word grovel at them. So they have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. All right. So one made it and one failed.
Which one failed?
This one.
That one failed.
Yep, the one that's in.
Okay, then that's the one that I'm gonna hit. So on its next turn, with grovel, on its next turn, it has to fall prone and then end its turn. I'm using the command spell.
Okay. Okay, so that when you said you're going to hit, you don't mean physically hit.
No, I do mean physically hit.
Okay. That
I
will-
used my meta magic in order to make that
Do
a
that as
bonus
a-
action,
right.
and now I'm using my action to hit it.
Percy, he's got it backwards. Okay, you were talking about who saved and who didn't save. He's talking about who got affected, who didn't get affected. The one right in front of you got affected, or
Yeah.
the one behind you did not.
Right.
Yeah, I want to hit the one that I affected.
Okay, well that will end the effect because if you attack something that's charmed or anything like that,
Yeah.
typically that ends the effect.
Gotcha. It doesn't say that on the spell, but okay, I'll move to the next one, I suppose.
Okay.
And I'll hit it.
All right.
All right, that's gonna be a 20.
That will hit.
Gee, dang it, I have a high to hit. And because that hit, I'm gonna use a second level spell slot to divine smite that sucker.
Ooh.
It's not great, but it's not awful. 10, 16, plus 3, 4 is going to be 20 damage.
Ooh. All right, and you seem to have done a fair amount of damage to this little guy here. And
And you know what? I'm going to, just for added measure, because I'm hitting it with my shield, I'm going to release that energy that I absorbed with the fire,
okay,
which is another d6, so 4 more damage to it.
and you release the fire onto the creature that just breathed the fire, and it doesn't seem to have any effect.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
It's just bonus fire damage. It doesn't make everything fire damage.
All right, so Quinley, seeing this, well, darling, these are a little bigger than the things I remember tussling with, but let's give it a go. And Quinley leaps onto the back of this one right here and starts scratching at it with her claws. And she doesn't seem to have any effect. And we're back to the top of the round. So we'll start with the one that's on Nevi. It reaches out to bite at you and you manage to get your shield up in time. And then it comes across with one of its talons and gouges deep into you, but it knocks you a little bit and it misses with the other one. And it does 6 points of damage. And the other one, feeling the raking of the claws on its back, which penetrate the skin, but not enough to really do any damage to it, starts shaking it all, trying to shake Quinley off, who's dug into the skin, and spins around, can't really get a good shot at her, but takes one shot and misses, and then tries to reach across and bite, and that time is able to hit, and does 10 points of damage to Quinley, which knocks her free from his back. So then he takes a swipe with his claw and misses as Quinley jumps out of the way. All right, Mrow.
I call her back to me, saying it's not worth it. Come back. I am going to move away from the fighting. I'm going to cast Bless before I move away. And I'll cast it up so that each of y'all get blessed.
Okay. That does 4 people, though, doesn't it?
Does 3 people count? It every time you go up a level, it does an extra. So at 4, I'll cast it at level 2, and that'll be 4 people.
All right, so everybody gets plus 1d4 on their attacks and saving throws. Okay. All right, so Pan.
Woohoo! Okay, so, I guess I'm going to use my bonus action to wild shape. Say what? I'm sorry?
I backed away.
Okay, yeah. You may want to back up. I'm gonna wild shape into a brown bear. And just go rah, and go ahead and take my attacks at that same one.
Here to Nevi, or which one?
At the same one that I was attacking before.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Just looking at my attacks. Uh, 19 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, that's the first one, and then that's. So that first one is 7 damage for my bite attack.
All right.
And then for my claw attack, does a 14 hit?
No, a 14 misses.
Okay, then that one misses. That's my turn then.
Okay. All right, Cade.
All right, Cade is going to come charging up to the left-hand side of Nevi, and while this Drake or whatever it is obviously distracted, and he's going to try and make a much better connection this time.
All right.
I don't suppose a 29 hits.
Okay, that actually penetrates him so hard that it goes right into Pan on the other side.
I'm sorry, Pan.
Ah!
All
No,
right.
that hit.
All right, so that is there's 17, 21 points of damage.
Woo! And you can tell that this thing is very wounded, that it seems to be slowing down a little bit. All right, Nevi.
Oh, by the way, I'd like to take my bonus action to disengage back towards the yellow tree.
Nevi's just gonna draw his rapier and stab at this thing that's in front of him, I guess.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 9 to hit.
All right, that is a miss.
All right, that's my turn.
Okay. So, this one having shaken the cat loose and wishing to, and is not concerned with it, moves closer, and you see its belly start to light up, and the light runs right up into its maw, and it opens up and breathes a large fan of searing flames out onto Pan and Nevi and his brother, if you will. Roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Natural 1.
Ooh, good. So you'll only take half damage.
Wait, you have blessed, don't you? That's an extra.
And that
Your
one
saving
doesn't
throws,
matter.
right? Okay, yeah.
One.
So sorry. 11.
Both of you fail. So 25 points of damage. And the other one takes a swipe at the bear, looks confused, and looks very wounded.
Which one breathed fire? I guess they're immune to fire. Never mind.
The one behind.
Ignore me.
Yes. The one that's only been attacked by Quinley so far. And the other one takes a swipe at Pan and hits. Takes a swipe at Nevi and crits. and takes a bite at Pan and misses. So 9 points of damage, Pan, as the claws drag across the front of your fur, taking a big chunk of it with it.
Mm-hmm. And how much was from the? You said it was 25 fire damage.
Fire damage and 9 from the claw.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm not good enough. Hold on.
All right, and Jason, roll me another perception check.
Can do. Well, I'm going to do this old school and see how that. 9.
9. Okay. You can faintly hear, there's something going on. You can't really tell what it is, but you hear noises. Basically, would have been coming from the southerly. Actually, let's see, where were you? Would have been coming. Well, you have no idea which direction, but we'll just say anyway. You hear noises, but you can't really make out what they are. But
Does he see flashing light?
no, he didn't see the flashing lights. There's too much. Yeah, there's too much forest.
Would I be able to to tell that it's the sound of battle, though?
If you'd have rolled a little higher, yes.
If
And
The wind is blowing quite loudly today.
you take 12 points of damage, Nevi, from the claw. It seems to manage to work its way. You move your shield to deflect the bite, but the claw gets through and does 12 points of damage. And it hurts. All right, Morale.
Is it my turn again already?
Yep, it's
I will.
yeah, because you're right after they are.
Okay. I will.
And go ahead and roll me an initiative check, Jason, just to see where you fall in line here.
I will try my crossbow at the one that's behind them, attacking them. The one that just did the breath weapon.
Okay, you're gonna fire your crossbow. Okay.
Yeah.
I
We'll
couldn't
see if I'm
even make. Is
any
that a 20? Whoa! Too bad you didn't roll that on perception.
Anybody
I
else lose
missed.
Jason's audio?
I'm sure I missed.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if he was muted because I.
Did you mute yourself, Jason?
Oh, we lost his audio. Though.
We lost his audio feed.
There he goes. It shows to be muted. Because
No, it's still.
click on his image, the little red mic is red.
Oh yeah, he's muted.
Mine is not red.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. No, I saw it go on and off a couple times, but oh, now
Yeah,
it's
now we
gone.
can't hear you again. I'm gonna go to the restroom while we do this technical difficulty.
Also, as a note, I'm not in wild shape anymore. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, it knocked you out of wild shape?
Yep.
I thought you had more. How many hit points does the bear have?
34. I took exactly 34. I took 25 in that first fire damage, and then I took 9 in that second one. So.
Good thing that wasn't real damage. Or
Yeah.
It was, but.
Right, but I'm glad I wild shaped beforehand.
Yes, no kidding. It's
13 doesn't hit, does it?
a 13 misses.
I was afraid of that. I guess as a bonus action, I can healing word Nevi.
Okay, Cade's actually more damaged. Actually, no, Pan isn't damaged yet. Cade is the most damaged, but
Cade's fine with his disengages.
okay, that's true. All right, you heal Nevi. All right, how many?
I
Yep,
heard
can
something.
see it.
I heard. That's going to be 8 for Nevi.
All right, Nevi, you just got healed for 8 points.
Now I don't hear Percy.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just joking now. Can you hear me now?
Now I
My mic
can.
was muted.
Okay.
Okay.
Rick, I'm sorry. Whenever you were describing my critical hit, I was looking something else up. How much damage did I take from that?
You took 12 points,
12? Okay. And then I healed 8 just now.
and you healed 8. Yes.
Perfect.
All right. So Pan, it's back to you. You
Hey,
just
well,
converted to your normal self.
yeah, so I pop back out of bear form. Well, that wasn't that nice. And I'm gonna cast my oh my gosh, spells please. My frostbite at him again, because that worked the last time. So
Now,
that's
is
a
that a
con save.
ranged? Is that a ranged attack?
It's within 60 feet.
Right, but if you're engaged, that's
Is it?
if it's a ranged attack. Yes.
1 second. So sorry. Yeah, it is ranged, huh? Okay, so I have disadvantage on that then?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I don't have to roll for that though.
Oh, it's a saving throw?
It's a con 14.
Okay, can you cast, but still, Jason, if you're casting a spell in an engaged, when you're engaged with a monster, isn't it,
Only if it's considered a ranged attack.
Yeah, I think if it's just a ranged attack, but if it's something that's
A save
can be
only, it
cast
should just
5
be
feet
fine.
in front of you or 60, it's a save. It's just a save. It's
Okay.
not really even technically an attack.
alright, so it's a wisdom save? Or no, it's a con.
Con. 14, yeah.
Ooh, they got really good con. He makes it.
Darn, that's
They
okay.
seem slow and stout.
Okay.
Alright, so Cade.
This thing is looking like it's pretty hurt, right? The
Yes.
one that's in front of them? Okay. Cade is going to come charging up from right behind and try and take his rapier and drag it right across him.
Across his buttocks?
Basically like he's running up to his right-hand side, and he's just going to keep slicing as he's going past him.
Oh, running past? Okay. A slice and dice, okay.
Let's see. That would be... That is a 19 to hit,
That will hit.
and that is 15 damage.
Alright. And would you like to describe that for us, sir?
Yes, like I said, as I'm slicing and dicing as I'm running by, entrails and bowels start coming out of that side cut just as it falls over to the side.
Okay. So, Nevi, Cade just disemboweled the Drake that was standing in front of you in combat with you as he ran by. And he's just smiling as he runs by him. Hey, look at that!
Actually, the comment would be more like, the pointy end goes in there.
A hole in the rear.
Is that my turn? Is that
Yes.
what's... Okay. So the one behind me is still alive?
Yes.
Okay, I cast sleep on it.
Okay.
Level 1.
So how many hit points can you do?
I've got to roll the dice. I believe it's 5d8s. Yep. Oh, I'm like looking for a 5th d8. I only have 4 sets of dice in front of me. Doing well tonight, guys. 3, 7, 14.
Now, I will tell you that
16.
you know you did over 70 points of damage to the last one to kill it.
I don't know that. 17 points of hit points.
Okay. And you can't... It doesn't seem to have had any effect.
Excellent. I'm pretty pretty hurt. Let me see. Nope, that's an action. Okay, it's my turn.
All right. Well, Quinley, seeing this tail, she hears Morale saying, "Come back here," but she sees this tail kind of bopping around in front of her, and she just doesn't know what comes over her. She just can't seem to resist, and she starts swatting at the tail. And she critically misses the tail, and the tail actually hits her and knocks her a few feet, and that makes her mad, so she jumps back and digs her claws and teeth into the tail and is actually successful and does 7 points of damage, but is now attached to the tail, swinging back and forth.
Cool.
All right, give me another perception check, Jason.
All right, let's see how we can do here. 19. Rolled a natural 20.
Ooh. So you've heard the commotion. You've been trying to listen to see if you can make out what it is, and now you can tell it sounds like voices in a state of very energetic, in almost yelling orders and look out, and oh no, he's gonna breathe again, and you can make out some of the voices. And it sounds like a commotion is going on, and you still hear the growls every now and then.
All right, well, having heard that, and I can tell that there's some sort of conflagration of conflicting conflicts going on, I'm going to power walk my way towards those sounds.
Okay. So, are you going to dash, or are you just going to walk?
Power walk, my friend. So yes, I will be dashing.
Okay.
Minus 5 feet, minus 10 feet, let's say. You can't quite. So yes, I will go 70 feet.
70 feet. Okay. You can hear it getting louder. You still can't quite see, make out what it is. But you're making out. You don't see anything yet, but you are making out that there's some kind of combat going on. You can hear the cries and you hear the clash of talons on metal, and let's see. Still hasn't recharged yet, so you're doing well. All right, so he moves up onto Nevi and takes a swing. What's your armor class, Nevi?
18, dude. 18.
All right, and he bites right into your arm.
Okay.
It doesn't get a hold of it, but bites down on your arm for 11 points of damage.
That is me unconscious.
Oh my gosh. And Morale, Nevi just went down. And Quinley is firmly attached to the tail of this thing. And you see that Pan was in bear form and is now out of bear form.
Yeah. And he's laying down, I guess, right next to it, right?
Yes. It seems when Nevi went down, it seems to like almost be standing, moved up, and is almost looking defiantly over its kill.
Pan, how bad are you? Or how bad does it look?
I'm okay since I just snapped out of wild shape. I haven't taken damage since, so I'm okay.
Let's see. I would healing word you, Nevi, but I'm afraid that it'll only be, 6 or 7 points, and he'll just take you right down again.
Go for it. Hey, finish the fight and then res me.
All right. I'm gonna try my crossbow again because my spells didn't seem to be working against it. Oh, that's much better. 17
17 will hit.
plus 5, so 22 to hit.
That's a hit.
D8 plus 2. Uh, that is 12 points of damage.
How many? 12 points?
Yeah, no, that's not right. 9, 10, 11 points of damage.
11 points? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So Pam,
Mm-hmm.
Debbie just went down, and this creature is standing right in front of you, challenging you for its kill.
Yeah, I see that. So, I'm just gonna kind of give him a dirty look and whip out my thorn whip. Since he knocked me out of my wild shape already. And let me make that attack. Oh, if my dice would not fall off the table. 12 to hit.
That's a miss.
It's a miss. Okay, that's my turn then. I just suck. I whip out my thorn whip and it goes wide.
All right. And he's about 5 feet away from you. Are you going to move, or are you going to stay there?
If I move away, does he get an attack of opportunity?
He's not engaged.
No, okay, then I'm gonna step back, yeah. I'm gonna step back probably like 10, yeah, like 10 feet. I hate to leave Nevi. I was hoping to try and get some good damage to be.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Cade, it's back to you.
All right, Cade, seeing Nevi get knocked down, he's going to step back about 15 feet or so. And he's going to outstretch his hand, and he's going to yell, "Helm, help me." And he's going to launch off some Eldritch Blasts.
Okay. And your Eldritch Blasts go off, but the feeling is slightly different than it's been in the past when the power came to you. It doesn't feel, it just feels different.
Well, it feels good.
It works.
Nat 20, dude.
Whoa!
Oh man.
It's a good
Nice.
time.
Whatever it felt like, it felt good.
Yeah.
You're thinking this new power is something I like.
Okay. 23 points.
Ouch. All right. Okay, so Nevi, make me a roll.
Bless still counts on
That's-
that, right?
It's gonna be an 8.
An 8.
fail.
Well, I don't think bless counts. Jason, does
All
it?
saving throws.
All saving throws. Okay, so roll your d4.
It's just a 1.
Oh!
9.
It's Tom
Mercy.
Steve.
Nevi's gonna be fine, y'all.
All right. So Quinley, hanging on to the tail, tries to dig her claws in and fails. Oh, wait. No, that would hit. All right, and does another 5 points of damage. And you are, you see coming through the trees, you can hear, and you see someone that looks like they're power walking in brown robes with a partially eaten loincloth.
I would consume it so they could not tell.
So he's naked.
So you are basically right
It just
here.
looks fringed.
That's where you would end your first movement. So you have a choice there of an action or a movement or whatever else.
So I see that there are 4 4 individuals, one who seems to be down and bleeding out, correct?
Correct.
I will use my action to dash to the down and bleeding out individual.
Okay. You just get there. And this reptilian drake is snarling at you like you're trying to take its kill.
All right. Good to know.
And you're done?
I don't have any.
Okay. So,
No, that's not the case. I will go into a fervor. So you see me start getting animated and kind of jumping up and down. You know, it's like, okay, you know, like that pole vaulter,
oh,
shaking it off and.
all right. So you're getting loose, getting ready. You know,
Yes.
move like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
That'll
Okay.
be my bonus action, correct?
And it does not seem intimidated by you at all. And it tries to draw its breath in. You see faint flickers of light, but nothing comes, and it just lunges at you. And it swipes at you with both of its claws. And what's your armor class?
14.
14. It hits. It misses. And then it tries to bite you. And it latches onto your shoulder and rips a big chunk of skin free. And does 8 points with its claw.
Have to 4.
And 11 points with its bite.
Have to 5.
Oh, dang. And I forgot one thing and when it bit you, you also take 5 points of fire damage.
Not at all, so that'll be 5 points of fire damage.
And it is back to Morale. You
Oh.
just saw a barbarian come charging in from the woods out of nowhere you do not recognize. And
He was more catwalking, I believe.
okay. He was walking with intent, and he's
He's got a
trying
good
to do
shoulder
this
shimmy
whole
going.
stuff, and this lizard doesn't seem to care and latches right onto him. Except now he's got a giant lizard hanging off of him. Or
Okay.
dancing with him.
I will try and sacred flame the lizard one last time.
Oh, not the barbarian? Okay.
Not the barbarian.
Barbarian seems friendly.
We'll
And
deal with the barbarian after the lizard. The lizard's got to go.
We're not very trusting. We'll kill him later.
what's the save?
It's actually 14. I told you 13 earlier, but I forgot my wand gives it a +1.
Ah, there you go. Okay, he fails.
Yay!
Just barely rolled a 14 on the die.
I don't know what to do. No.
What's the next?
3 points of damage.
Oh! And flames come pouring out of the sky and basically tinge its skin. And one thing you notice about its skin, Jason, is it's very chameleon-like. It seems to shift and have a very foresty feel to it. All right, Pan.
That's me.
Oh, wait. It's 2d8s at 5th level.
It is.
That's better. +7 more.
Ooh.
Nice.
And he's starting to look a little wounded.
About time.
Okay, well, I suppose I'm just gonna, since the lizard's kind of distracted by our new friend over here, I'm gonna walk up and just kind of nudge Nevi with my toe and cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
On Nevi, okay.
Yeah.
Roll up some healing.
Got it. $13 points.
All right, 13, Nevi. She's
So
got a hold of your toe, and you feel nice, cool life pouring back into your toe.
Well, no, I nudge him with my toe. It's because
Oh.
he's on the ground because it's touch, so I'm just
Toe to toe. Okay.
kind of
So she's going toe to toe.
nudge him in the side. Yeah,
So she kicks you for 13 points of healing.
it's a gentle nudge. There's a
Oh,
difference.
yes. A
Well,
nudge.
Apparently, she subscribes to Morale's way of healing.
It's like step on their head.
I was just gonna say that. It works.
Hmm.
All right. Cade.
All right. Having noticed this new barbarian running in, and Nevi down on the ground, and Pan running in, Cade feeling a little bit more confident that he's not going to get breathed on. He is going to do his favorite little routine, and he is running for the backside
Hey.
to try and poke him again.
All right, Cade. Give it your best shot. Your big poke in the butt. And you see a cat. Oh, he shook the cat loose. Okay.
17.
That's a hit.
Okay. Yeah, but that's like almost as low of damage as I can possibly get. 10.
Still not bad. Okay. All right, Jason, we're back. Nevi, you have just received healing. You are now conscious, laying on the ground.
This thing's standing over me?
It's kind of moved over you, so it's almost like its butt is in your face.
All right. Well, I reach my hand out toward its butt, and just kind of like I'm like not gasping for air, but just like wearily like, oh yeah, there's a monster, and so I reach backward and clench my fist and summon a Shadow Blade, level 2 sorcerer spell, and shove it right up in there.
Okay.
Would I get surprised for that, do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure he's surprised. You don't get any bonus for the die, but he's surprised.
No, well, it's still a 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
And I'm going to Divine Smite it. All right, 16, 21, 28 plus 4 is going to be 32 damage right in its rectum.
All right.
Nice.
And you disintestine him right over you.
He's like away from me though.
Just slightly, I told you his butt.
I don't pull. Listen, this is a blade made of shadow. I don't pull it out. I just let it go.
Okay, well, and he does too. He just lets it go. And so he just.
I use my movement to roll out of the way. Then.
All right, roll me a dexterity save.
That's a 18.
All right, so you are able to move enough to where you don't get too much on you.
Well, I gotta get some on me.
All right,
I
and
can kill it all.
Jason, one thing you noticed when you were charging in was your hand had been hurting terribly. Okay, I mean, literally, it was going to debilitate you once you got into combat. But as you got closer to the group, you noticed that the pain seemed to subside, and you are now standing there, and the lizard is just slumped in front of you, and you just went into a rage, but you no longer feel the pain in your hand.
Right, I just want to mention that when I went into a rage, you see all of these little ancestors. They look kind of like me, kind of circling around me, but they have the face of Tony Robbins, and they're just circling all around me as part of my ancestral guardian rage.
Okay.
So I look around, so there are no more foes to fight against, correct?
No, not that you can see. though you do feel a slight. You can't really make it out for sure what it is. You don't know, but in the palm of your hand, you feel like there's something close.
I feel like there's something close in the palm of my hand.
Now, your palm of your hand is almost like
It's like right here. It's very close to me. I see it almost every day.
Nevi stands up and swings his shield at the barbarian. Nevi
What?
was unconscious when he came in. He doesn't know what's happening. He just knows he was in a fight.
okay.
But hold on, everyone, as I'm kind of still
Yeah, Nevi goes
kind of
last.
jumping
anyway,
up and down.
so, yes.
It
Okay.
appears that you have vanquished these creatures that that were assaulting you. Please lay down your weapons. I mean you no harm.
Who are you?
I am Uthvas of the Uthgard tribes.
What's an Uthgard?
Me?
You're the only one?
No, I am of the Uthgard tribe.
What is that? What is the Uthgard tribe?
It is my tribe, the one I come from.
Where are you from?
I am from the land of my people.
Where do where do they hail from?
Where do they hail from?
Yeah, what city?
I'm not
do
sure
you
I
live
understand
in?
the word hail. Please
Where
explain that to me.
where do they live?
They live. Oh, they live in the outcroppings of the mountain that we create.
You create a mountain?
No, we create the outcroppings.
Oh.
I
Hey.
am Uthvas. What is your name, sir?
My name is Neverwinter Jones.
Neverwinter Jones. That is an interesting name. I don't think I've ever heard the name Jones before.
Well, we're
I have been to Neverwinter.
you have.
I am from 10 Towns.
Where's Tin Towns?
What do you mean, where is 10 Towns?
I thought you were from the outcropping on the mountain.
No. I make my tribe makes its homes in the outcroppings of the mountains, of the spine of the world.
At this point, Kate is sitting like Indian style on the ground, riveted by this conversation.
So you're from Tin Towns,
Yes.
on the spine of the world. Oh no, your outcropping is on the spine of the world.
We are. My tribe is from the spine of the world. I am most recently from 10 Towns. It has become my path in life to go out and seek others, such as yourself, sir, and to
To what end?
assist you in your proper path in life.
What's my proper path, Uthvas?
That is for us to find out. This has been a very fortunate meeting. I believe that destiny has brought us together to learn more about one another and for me to help guide you towards that path.
So where are we, Uthvas?
I do not know. I was about to ask
That's
that
a
same
horrible
question to you.
thing for a guide to say.
I'm sorry?
The guide that doesn't know where we are. That seems like a bard is going to write a song about you one day.
All I know is that I fell into some pool of something or another, and then when I awoke with a burning hand, I heard this kerfuffle going on, and I followed it. And as I came to said kerfuffle, I saw these lizard creatures. One then get... I moved over to, I believe it was you, lying down on the ground, and as I was trying to render aid, you popped up and disemboweled said creature, and then the kerfuffle was completed.
Yes, I do see that you noticed my gambit and assisted me expertly in pulling it off. I appreciate you pulling the monster in such a direction that allowed me to rectally insert my magicianal blade. Yes.
There were several of those words I did not understand, but I'm glad that I was of assistance.
Well, Uthvas, it's only for the smartest of us to understand the machinations of trickery and treachery toward the beasts of forest and field.
Do you speak common, sir?
Someone with innate intelligence.
Okay.
I need little words.
That's. Oh, boy. Yeah, just deceptive tactics against the lizards. You helped. Thanks, Uthwas.
So, in
So
other words,
what is your profession, sir? I've noticed that you are quite expert in the wielding of your weapon into disembowel. I do know that word.
Well,
Disembowel.
my
Yes,
profession is.
I have often emboweled others as well, but that is not quite as easy.
No, it's not. Although we do have a few people in our entourage that can do so with quite gumption.
I believe I have eaten gumption before, yes. We of the Uthgard people have hunted gumption for years.
Yes, Cade, you have another question.
so you were faking.
Yes.
Um,
What is your name, sir? I am Uthvos of the Uthgard tribe.
I'm confused.
Where are
Hello,
the Uthgards?
confused. So we have confused. We have Jones.
No,
who
no,
are
you
these
can
other-
call me Nevi.
I'm sorry. Call you what?
Nevi. It's short for
Nevi.
never.
That is an interesting name. How did you come? How did you come from Nevi? Why do people call you Nevi?
Because I tell them to.
That makes sense. Somebody comes up to you and asks, "What shall I call you?" And you tell them Nevi, and they call you that. That is an excellent way of handling and dealing with people.
It's the most sense that either of us have made since we began talking amidst one another.
You know, I believe that we should talk further about perhaps combining our particular talents. I believe that we have skills that would be quite advantageous.
Yes, I believe someone of equal intelligence to myself belongs in this here little entourage in order to penetrate the forest, as our Grand Master has told us multiple times, and to find the necromancer and bring him to absolute...
Necromancer. It's funny you should say that. I remember there was one town that I went to, and I met this young fellow who was really just a bit of a a stable boy, as it were, and he was taking care of our
Well, that's
animals.
better than an unstable boy.
I don't get it. But anyway, so I was talking to him, and what I found is that he had aspirations, as most of us do. And as I spoke to him more and more, I found out that this young man...
Oh yeah, I have aspirations twice a day.
Again, I'm not quite sure I understand where you're going with that. But when I was speaking to this young man, I did find out that he had no friends. And as such, after much discussions, and I put him on the right path. And as it did turn out, he did become a necromancer to make friends. He did destroy the town that I was at, and he did become a bad person. But I think that I helped push him to where he was supposed to be.
The conversation of whether or not that's good or bad is entirely subjective to the survivors, don't you think?
Yes, I find that very pugilanistic.
Yes, I 100% agree. And I mean, survivors and winners write history, don't they?
That is 100% Margdominius, yes.
So we are seeking out a necromancer that currently we believe to be a negative influence on our current living situation. Let me preface this. Uthvas, you woke up in a pool.
I woke up in a pool.
You're not in what we would call Faerun currently. We're in a totally different spot full of crystals and weird stuff. In fact, I think I see a crystal tooth hanging up that skull on your pack.
Well, actually, I think there's a complete crystal skull.
Oh, it's
here.
but
it's gone. It is gone. No, we don't know where it is.
There's nothing. Okay,
but I tell you the story about it so that you are curious about it, and so you ask me.
So
I think I still have it, but I do not.
Does Jason or does Uthvas have a crystal tooth?
No. But now that you start talking about the crystal, his hand starts itching. It's burned. You can see he looks at it, and you can tell that it was burned.
Are you Are you out of those like cool barbarian drugs? Is that why your hand's all itchy?
My hand hurt. No, it was because I was holding said crystal skull.
Would you like me to try and heal
I saw a
it?
movie about the crystal skull once.
You're one
It
of those
also
cat
involved a
folks,
man named
aren't you?
Joe.
I've seen you cat folks before. I am Uthvos of the Uthgard tribe.
I am Morale.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Morale.
Pleasure.
Have you ever thought of perhaps becoming a puma or a saber-toothed tiger?
They don't call them cat folks here. They call them something else. Grenier, Grishan, Gamamile.
I think it was the Grenlack.
Grenlack, that's the one.
Grenlack.
Pan here's our resident bookkeeper and wise
Grenlack is an interesting
wise
name.
secretary.
I'm not either of those. I am a tabaxi.
Tabaxi. You spell that with a G or an R?
R.
Neither.
Interesting. And so what do you do?
What do you mean? What do I do?
You seem to be a physician of some type.
I heal. Would you like me to try and heal your hand?
That would be nice. Yes, I feel somewhat. Oh, if I were to say, just offhand, I would say I'm feeling a kind of 16 out of 50-ish at the moment.
16 out of 15-ish?
50-ish.
Oh, 50. Okay, in that case, I will grab your hand and...
Yes, little man.
I'm still lost. I don't know where you came from. You woke up in a pool. I just
Cade.
Yes, I understand.
He's from home.
Confused. I understand this. Now,
yes, I'm very confused.
I'm not exactly sure what happened. I was told by my ancestor to follow the light.
Can I
That is
talk to
what
your
I did.
ancestor?
I'm sorry?
Can I talk to your ancestor?
Not at the moment. I am no longer in a fervor.
For a what?
Yes, you saw when I was fervored, you saw my ancestors encircling me. You can try to talk to them. They have not said much to me in that case.
I
They
didn't
usually
see
come
them.
to me in my non-waking hours.
So if we want to talk to your
When I'm
ancestors, we
drowning
got
and
to knock
burning.
you out. Hey, don't heal this man. We gotta.
Cade
Too late. She has already
Cade
tried to
kicks
heal
him
me. How
square
much
in
did I
the
get?
knee.
So you kick him in the knee?
Cade kicks him square in the knee.
Ouch.
Although his knee is probably above my head.
Did I receive some sort of healing from the cat lady?
12 points.
12 points. Thank you.
Okay. It does not really do anything to the burn. And
So,
but you are healed 12 points.
Uthvas, you received a dream that instructed you to, in some way, get here.
That is correct.
Whatever the road was, point A to point B, you wound up in this forest.
There
right
was no
now.
road. It was a lot of water.
I can't speak for Pan. We haven't actually had that conversation yet, but the three of us, Cade, myself, and Morale, all had dreams that led us to the city that got us the job to travel here. We had dreams that led us to the Eagle's Nest Tavern, I believe it was called.
So you came of your own
Raven's
volition.
Nest. And we wound up here, and we wound up mixed up in all this crystal mumbo jumbo. Now, you told me you witnessed some sort of crystal skull that spoke to you,
This is correct.
and how much did you relay that whole story that we heard at the beginning to me?
No.
Okay.
I've relayed to you as much as I could remember, which is exactly what I've said.
You had this conversation with this crystal skull, and you
There
wound
was
up here.
Yes, there was a crystal skull that seemed to morph into the face of the last enemy that I slew.
Crystals seem to be very important here. Like, so much so that they have people made of them. They have cats made of them. Look at what's her name over there, Morale's pet. That's not a regular cat. You see it shining and shimmering over there.
Yes, I do.
It's made of crystal. It's the wildest thing I ever seen. They're called a heart of Curat heart, and this one, like, we found out just the other day that this particular Curat, like, it houses the soul of another being inside of it that does not like it when we play music.
What are you talking about there, sir? Are you talking about me?
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you could hear me. You've never spoken to me before. This is brand new.
Oh, actually, I guess she would be saying that to Morale. Is he talking about me, Doug?
Yeah, I think so.
What's he saying? Is he being disrespectful in any way?
No.
That whatever these crystal beings are, like, this isn't our world. This isn't Faerun. This is a new place that has, like, intersected with the spine of the world. You know, like those crystal merchants that have been coming through the mountains.
No.
Us? You're
No,
not
I do
familiar with them. Okay.
No, I am not.
I'm
But I
maybe
will
not very-
but I will tell you that this seems like this seems like a great opportunity for all of us to find our new path.
A new path.
A new path.
But we're already on a new path. So are you suggesting that we alter the current path that we're on?
Well, now that I am part of your path,
So
and I
you
think
get
I
a new
am part
path.
of your path,
Well, for
it
now.
becomes a new path.
All right, Uthas. You seem like an intellectual individual capable of many machinations in helping me in my particular trickery against beasts of field and forest.
I am into trickery and strategery.
Excellent. Trickery and strategery is, well, it's awkward, but it is my middle name, Nevi Trickery Strategery Jones. It doesn't really roll off the tongue
It
as
does not
such.
roll off the tongue. No, neither does this. Well, I'm sorry, sir. Confused was your name. That doesn't work either for me.
I'm still confused, but my name's Kate.
You're still confused.
We call him Kate.
But-
He is confused.
He's
he's
what you're saying. So you're talking. It's a state of being rather
Yes,
than
indeed,
a
a state of being.
naming.
We did bring him along because he is quite funny. You wait until you see him ride a goat. It's freaking hilarious.
Understandable. And who is this other member of your party?
That is a Crystalline Cat. We've already covered this.
No, not that.
Thorin.
Oh, the individual who turns into... That's a sore subject. I pretend that Pan doesn't exist. I used to be able to do what she does. And I don't...
Look, he's
I'm-
just.
Oh, there was this
not-
one time that he tried to turn into a bear, and he turned like half of a bear, and he was screaming down an alleyway, and it was hilarious. And then we had this long
was
dance
not
and conga
hilarious.
line, and
We
we
used to
made
make a
money,
lot
and
of
it was
money.
absolutely
It was-
fantastic.
Kind of a lot, but I'm the one that does the bear show now. I'm Pan. It's
Hello, Pan. I am.
She's still learning the show.
Boss of the Uthgard.
very nice to meet you. I suppose. But yes, I'm Pan. I turn into other animals and beat other things up.
That is a considerable talent. Do not ever be ashamed of that.
Thank you. It's quite. I quite think so.
Have you ever thought of maybe being part of a traveling show?
Well, see, I haven't.
That goes back to
But I
this one time.
Kind of.
Isn't that what we
started.
are?
I mean, I guess, yeah. If we could be a traveling show. We put the show on sometimes.
We really need a bard in this party to record our antiquities.
Yeah, I think what we're lacking is the music. That it needs that little oomph.
I understand. Yes.
We'll have to hire
Perhaps
somebody
we will be
to
able to. Does the little crystalline cat figure sing?
She can caterwaul.
I think the sound of a cat's meow is music to my ears. So, works for me.
Well, I personally, particularly, I am both hurt and exhausted.
Do you have a
That
camp
fight.
somewhere where we may rest and recuperate?
Hey, listen, if we camp right here, we can cook these lizards without even carrying them.
Good point.
I'm in.
That sounds like a very good idea.
And
I think this is a great place.
You realize you just finished a long rest. And
I need another one, dang it.
I am looking for real food. I will not tell you what I have been consuming.
Listen, Rick, I used all my spell slots and I died once, okay? I need a freaking long rest.
You really gotta kind of be moving here. You're in the forest. You want to take a long rest right here?
Can we at least take a short rest?
Rick, it's almost 10 o'clock. We've got to stop the show somehow.
No, we can stop the show.
Short rest, then. I'll deal with my spell slots later.
And you're gonna take a short rest. One of the things you have this feeling that Utvas, you have this feeling that there's something nearby, and just your palm of your hand is itching, and you just feel drawn to it.
To my hand or to the...
No, your hand feels drawn. You're looking at your hand, and you're putting it out, and yeah, as you move it around, there's a certain direction where it kind of feels, the pain is a little less, if you will, and you feel drawn in that direction.
I'm going to roll an intelligence check.
Ooh. I'm thinking wisdom in this case.
I'm going to roll a wisdom check. A 10.
A 10. You can't tell what it is, but you do notice that you take a couple of steps in that direction, and it feels, right. The pain seems a little bit less, and that's what you're getting.
Okay, my friends, this injury that I have sustained from holding said crystalline skull, the pain that I feel from it seems to be somewhat diminished when I hold it in this direction. I am taking this as a sign that perhaps I should continue to hold my hand in this direction.
That seems
Do
logical
not be
to me.
alarmed.
That's sound reasoning.
Cade completely violates your personal space, and he gets right up next to you so he can turn and face the direction your hand is outreached to, so he can look and see where you're pointing.
Roll me a perception. Cade and Utvas.
Oh, how could this possibly go good?
15.
A 15.
An 8.
An 8. You are, not only you're holding your hand in that direction, but you're holding it up, like you're pointing it up slightly. And you thought you saw let me see. You thought you saw a slight movement in one of the trees.
My friends, have you noticed any creatures that may have taken to the trees for their movement?
One thing that they noticed once these creatures, that this forest has been quiet, has been silent.
Are there any other dangers that you've come across that we should be aware of at this current time?
Well, every since we came into this forest, we've always felt like something's looking at us, and we just can't find it.
I'm going to use Divine Sense.
Okay.
I can detect good and evil until the end of my next turn. I can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell, or know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet.
And you don't pick up anything.
Excellent. Now we're good. I got a sort of 12th sense about these things, and there's nothing around us within like 130 something miles.
Do you have any indication of which direction we should be moving toward?
Into the forest.
Hold that thought. You said 12th sense. What are your other 11?
Well, I got the sense of taste, touch, smell, my liver, of course, sight,
Fashion.
Ashton?
fashion.
Okay.
I can
Comment? No, wait, he's missing that one. Okay.
magical senses, my sense of style, which is kind of fashion, but a little bit different.
Little different.
Yeah, my
Humor?
my sense of humor. Yes, thank you, Morale, very much. I appreciate that.
How about your dollars and
My sense of diction, my sense of it's kind of an undescribable quality. And then finally, my
je ne sais quoi, one might say.
yeah, a certain je ne sais quoi. And
Sense
then
of
finally,
self-importance.
and then finally, that's my 13th sense actually. But the 12th sense is my sense of the divine.
Okay. That's a
What I
lot.
see here is that you are very self-actualized, and that's very good. That's very important.
And then sense 14 is my sense of direction. And then sense 15 is my sense of heat and cold, like temperature sense. And then
Got it.
scent 15 is my farts.
So how many do you have altogether?
They just kind of keep going.
Wow, that's really something.
It truly is a miracle.
We
I
need to
I
review
would say
this and
so.
break this down.
Yeah. Do I
So,
need to
so-
to go make friends with Marina too?
so when you were laying on the ground, what sense is your sense of pain?
That was not a sense of pain. That was a sense of treachery.
You mean
That's 16
deception and
senses so far.
chicanery.
Yeah, chicanery, deception, streetwise is what we might call it.
Okay, now there's too many. I've lost track. You lost
16.
me after 12.
And Uthbas is getting a sense that his pain is increasing slightly, and feels like something's moving away.
Interesting. It seems like perhaps this sense that I have in my hand is connected to some place, person, thing, creature, bauble that we should be heading toward.
Then, well,
We should totally follow the guy that just got here.
Wouldn't be the
Uthbas,
weirdest thing we've done.
has 10 minutes passed, Rick? Did I get a short rest in?
Well, 10 minutes isn't a short rest, sir.
I thought it was, or an hour, whatever.
I thought it was a.
You haven't gotten that in.
We've been cooking dragon or drakes and chatting. Surely that it's been a while.
We did make a plan to camp.
Well, you did, but the whole conversation is the exact amount of time that you've spent.
Well, Rick,
I
we
believe
have been
should
here.
probably be on our way. If you need more healing and whatnot, I think perhaps that might need to be done on the road.
You can take a long rest, but you've only been there about 10 minutes. So you've been doing this while you're starting to gather stuff. And, you know, one thing you notice, too, when you start cutting on these creatures, that you notice that their growths coming out of their sides of their heads, okay, their necks. And y'all can, whoever's going to be preparing, I guess, because Pan, probably you would be the most skilled at this kind of stuff. Roll me survival check. So, Nevi, you and Jason have been having an intense conversation. And so I'm going to say Pan and Morale maybe would be the ones mostly doing
20.
a
I rolled
20.
17,
You
so
think-
20 total.
As you're cutting into this, these things are really unusual, and you start cutting in, and you can see spinal, that there's an actual bone neck attached to the spinal cord, and possibly even other growths where maybe these are forming, and you think that they're heads that are growing out of the sides of their necks.
Like a hydra?
Guys,
Like what?
A hydra?
Possibly. If you wish to roll me a knowledge check.
Not really, but I will.
let's see. Let me see what my.
Actually, yeah, I'll give it, with a 20, I'll give you that. Yeah, you think would be like a hydra, some type of a hydra creature.
I think these were some sort of multi-headed creature.
Yeah. That feeling too. Hey guys, come look at this.
Yeah, come see. This doesn't look quite normal.
It's all right.
No.
I believe I've seen something similar to that before. I believe it's called a hydrochloroquine.
There's no evidence of that. They've done lots of testing and studies, and that makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Well,
but
it is what it is.
I
This
think
is this is kind of. I've never seen this.
Cade picks up the hind leg and goes, "Yep, everything looks normal." Drops the leg.
Thank you, Cade, for your apt assessment.
So are we peeling this bad boy apart?
Well, actually, Ultvas, you are engaged. You're distracted while they're having this conversation because you're feeling the pain increase.
I would start moving to try to lessen the pain.
As you move that direction, the pain gets a little bit less.
My friends, I think that I will be in an extreme amount of pain if I do not continue to move in this direction.
Okay. So, tell me what speed you're wanting to move.
I would like to move at the speed of Covfefe, please.
I think you have to have some hydrochloroquine in order to be able to move at that speed.
I am going to move just at my regular speed of 40, excuse me.
Oh, that's a pretty good regular speed. Okay, so you move at that speed
into the woods.
And so he's basically moving. So he starts taking off into the woods.
Guys, I seriously, there's an amount of pain that I'm trying to reduce here. I believe that this may be a sign of some sort. And you must always follow the signs.
You must. And roll me another perception check. And
I literally have a 1.
Seriously, get a new app.
I'm telling you, because I rolled like total doo-doo.
2 when I roll it for real. It does not matter.
I thought you already discussed this before, that it didn't matter.
It does not matter. It is what is meant to be.
Okay. So, you see your new companion is taking off into the woods, and he's got his hand out in front of him, like this, pointing up in the air.
Cade looks at Nevi and goes, "He did say it was a guide."
I guess we follow his burning hand?
You know, my dad had a conversation with me about a burning hand one time.
And you keep moving, and then you notice the pain starts to get... This pain is lessened, but as you keep moving, you move another 40 feet or so, and then it starts getting hot again. And you can feel it's kind of wanting you to you feel it's... Yes, exactly.
Well, I will follow the hand.
So you're going to go with the hand that's dealt you?
I am, well, the way that I look at it is that when you're looking for a helping hand, this is where it comes from.
I see.
It's
And
pretty convenient.
so you're moving back. Roll me another perception.
12.
12. Better.
It really couldn't get worse.
And you are at the base of this tree, and you feel like you're pointing straight up into the tree.
I will speak to the tree. I will say, "Hello there, tree. I am Uthbas of the Uthgard tribe. Is there anyone there? Can you speak to me? Are you sentient? Are you animated?"
And you don't hear
Are you deciduous?
He might be coniferous. Try asking if he's coniferous.
Are you coniferous?
Meow, why is he talking to that tree over there? Is he right in the head?
I'm really not sure at this point.
That's a rather strange fella, don't you think?
Yeah. Do you
I
send
would like to persuade the tree to speak to me.
Talking to trees. I remember people talking to trees, I guess, I think. Way back, some vague, distant memory. All right. See, roll your persuasion.
Not since the Entwives left.
24.
24. Man, he is. Y'all are being convinced the tree should talk to him, but he's still getting nothing. And
Is
now,
there any change in the amount of pain at the moment?
when you hold your hand up, yes, it seems less. And give me the tone of your persuasion.
Hello, Mr. Tree, or Mrs. Tree, as the case may be. I am Uthvas of the Uthgar tribe. It would appear that in some way we are connected, in that I have pain coming from my hand, and it seems to lessen as I get closer to you, and as I hold it up as such. As such, may I have your permission to climb up yourself, so that I may see if the pain may lessen even further.
And a little face appears on the tree in front of you.
I don't really think that I would like you to climb me, but is it that you seek?
Well, at this point, I seek to remove this pain that's in my hand.
And how would that have anything to do with me?
I'm not sure. I do not know. Do not know this place of which I have been brought to, and I am not aware of all of the different things that can happen in this forest. As it is, I was not really expecting you to answer me, but as the fact that the matter being that you did, well, that's just good.
I see. So you talk to trees but don't expect them to answer. Do you regularly talk to things you don't expect to answer? Perhaps you just like to hear your own voice.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I did answer you, so
What is your name?
Tree?
It is good to meet you, Tree. Once again, I am Uthvas of the Uthgar tribe. Can you tell me where we are?
You're standing in the forest.
Is there a particular name to this forest?
That I don't know. The forest.
That would make sense. That actually clocks with what you said so far. So yes, I understand that. Is there anything that we can do for you?
Well, you could leave me in peace.
Is that a pun?
No, I don't mean to leave me in pieces.
No, to leave you.
Oh.
I am still learning puns. I need to know. I am trying my best to understand them, and you must excuse me because they still somewhat go over or under my head.
That went over my head, and being a tree, that's rather difficult to do for things to go over your head.
Exactly, but I must say though that I do appreciate your conversation with me, and we will do our best to leave you be. Now, out of curiosity, in this direction that I am pointing my hand, what lies further that way?
Nothing. It's just.
Or would it be farther that way? I never get those right.
I am not a linguist by trade. I could not tell you those things. I do not know what you see, but I can tell you there's nothing up in my canopy that should interest you in any way, shape, or form.
I would like to roll an insight.
Okay, roll an insight.
21.
You think the tree's not being completely honest.
Well, I do not mean to
These
call
can
you a
lie?
liar, but I think you're a liar. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
Why would I lie?
That is what I would like to know, but I feel that perhaps there is something that you are obfuscating.
And Quinn, well, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm about bored with this, and so she takes off towards the tree and starts climbing the tree. What is that on my? What is that coming up towards me?
It is a crystalline cat.
Oh, and why? Why do you have your cat coming up here?
It is not my cat.
And all of a sudden, the face disappears, and you see what looks like a large squirrel start darting across the tree limbs and running to another tree. And Quinn starts darting after the squirrel.
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 I start chasing Quinny.
All right. So it starts taking off in this direction. And so does Brown.
I find this quite odd. Well, first and foremost, my friends, that the tree did, in fact, speak to me. But now there seems to be a squirrel that seems to be running away from us. I believe that we should try to catch said squirrel. I believe said squirrel has further information that will be of use to us. Small one, can you catch the squirrel? Feline one, can you catch the squirrel?
Is that a challenge?
I'm after my feline.
Animal changer, can you catch the squirrel?
Could try.
Cade's already in full sprint.
Okay. And you're still standing at the base of the tree?
Still standing at the base of the tree. Although
Okay.
perhaps I will start to climb it as well.
Okay. So you're climbing the tree and y'all are chasing the squirrel. All right.
Seemed like
So-
a good idea at the time.
All right, so y'all are in full pursuit of the squirrel. Quinley is, ahead of you by some factor. And Jason, you're climbing the tree. Is there anything you're looking for in particular? Now,
I am looking for something that is not tree.
okay, roll me a perception. And as you climb the tree, the burning in your hand keeps getting less and less.
That would be a 5.
A 5. Okay.
You get very far in the tree.
All right. All of a sudden, your hand. How the best to describe it? It almost feels like it wants to grab something.
I let it.
And all of a sudden, you hear a voice go, "Whoa! What? Whoa! What's that? How'd that happen?" And your crystal skull comes streaking out of a spot in the tree that you don't see anybody for a roll. You rolled a really bad perception.
Yes,
And
and I will continue to.
Okay. And your crystal skull smacks right into your hand, and your hand does not burn at all anymore. And you see the crystal skull of your goblin friend, Ungi, and that's it. And they're off chasing the squirrel. So you are now up probably about 30 feet up in the air. And you can see this skull came flying from a spot probably about 10 feet up in a little nook in the tree, probably about 10 feet farther up overhead.
Has the pain gone away?
Yes.
Well, this is fortuitous. Or for all of us.
And I'm thinking that this is a good spot to call it a night.
All right, works for me. It's always a good stream when you end chasing a squirrel.
Squirrel.
All right. So, guys, thank you very much. This has been our D&D, Piercing the Crystal Veil. And we will be coming back, I think, 2 weeks from now in order to be able to go into the next session?
Something like that.
I think 3 weeks, but we could probably do it in 2 weeks if everybody is up for that.
And next week will be our Star Wars evening. So, guys, hopefully we'll see everybody then. And as we like to end all the streams, keep on adventuring.